Hi, I'm Steve Sabol of NFL Films, and along with Harry Callis, welcome to NFL Review and Preview. Our special guest this week is the quarterback of the Washington Redskins, Joe Theismann. Joe, you know, the old cliche is that defense wins championships. But when you look at the four teams that are playing in the AFC and the NFC championship this week, I don't know whether that still holds true. Now, for instance, the Cowboys. America's defense is ranked next to last in the NFC, and yet they're in the championship game.
But they're still #1 in total interceptions in the National Football League. Their defense has been the aspect of the game that has carried Dallas for many, many years. They've had some great offensive individuals, but as a team, their defense has been a dominant force in the National Football League.
How about San Diego Chargers? The worst pass defense in the history of the National Football League.
Unquestionable. This is probably the only exception to the rule. San Diego has proven if you have a great enough offense, you don't necessarily need defense. And that's why they're not going to get any further than the next week's ball game.
Joe, I kind of agree with Steve. I think with the new rules changes, you've gone through this whole season totally unscathed.
Oh, Harry,
such a cute little guy.
Clothes hide many, many bruises, believe me.
But there's more of a protection of the quarterback. Offensive linemen are given greater levity as far as their blocking techniques, and as a result, I think it's more of an offensive game.
There's no question that they've opened the game up, but you can only open the game up so far. There still are 11 guys on defense that you have to beat, and if you stop the opponent from scoring, which is the key to everything, you will win football games. That's why all the games to date have been offensively dominated. Now the team that plays the best defense is going to win the ultimate championship.
And win the Super Bowl. Steve, Joe, and I will be back with more on NFL Review and Preview.
Last week, the Chargers defeated the Dolphins 41-38 in one of the most thrilling, dramatic, seesaw, overtime struggles in NFL history. Joe, where does a game like this leave the Chargers now? Are they emotionally up or are they down?
I think it has to leave them on an emotional up. There were many times in that football game they were completely out. They should have been beaten. They weren't. I think veteranship prevailed over youth in this football game. They hung in there, they stayed in there, they got some breaks, and they managed to pull it out at the end, which is very, very important in playoff competition.
Okay, emotionally they'll be up. How about physically?
Physically, I think they're going to be drained. It's a good thing they've got a week to get ready for the next opponent.
You know, many people call that game the greatest game in playoff history in the NFL. Let's take a look now at the first half of the San Diego-Miami game last week.
Last Sunday in Miami, Charger coach Don Coryell exchanged season's greetings with coach Don Shula prior to their AFC playoff game. Both coaches were in festive moods, having led their teams to division championships. However, at game time, all the smiles were wiped clean, and both teams were strictly business. San Diego quarterback Dan Fouts didn't need to circulate an office memo to let it be known what his agenda for the afternoon would be. Moments after the opening kickoff, a Fouts completion to number 89 Wes Chandler helped set up a field goal, putting San Diego on top 3-0. Charger coaches claim Chandler runs with the football as well as any receiver, and a first-period punt return made believers out of the 73,000-plus fans in the Orange Bowl. Not since 1977 had a Charger returned a punt for a touchdown, as Chandler's score gave San Diego a 10-0 lead. The play proved to be just a preview of a game that would become an offensive orgy, shocking the virgin eyes of innocent fans and reopening those who thought they had seen it all. Chandler's 56-yard touchdown return marked the first time the Dolphins had allowed such a score in 6 years. And on the ensuing kickoff, Miami's special teams were victimized again as they mysteriously failed to field the football. San Diego recovered the Dolphin miscue, And minutes later, halfback Chuck Muncie, 1981's leading touchdown scorer, started off the new year in resolute fashion. The woes of Miami's special teams were also shared by quarterback David Woodley and the Dolphin offense. Woodley was unable to move the football, and this interception by number 27 Glenn Edwards set up another Charger score. James Brooks, number 21, outran the Miami defense for a touchdown near the end of a first quarter in which San Diego pumped 24 bullets into the Dolphins and then stood back to admire the corpse. However, Don Shula wisely replaced Woodley with Don Strock, number 10, a veteran quarterback who pulls games out of the grave like a body snatcher lifts coffins. San Diego's pass defense is pro football's worst, and Strock gave Miami new life by skillfully preying upon the Chargers' weakness. Strock drove Miami to a field goal in his first series, and then capped his second possession with a touchdown pass to Joe Rose, number 80, to make the score 24-10. With only 6 seconds remaining in the half, Don Shula further proved his coaching genius by sending in a play that seemed more apt to be drawn in the schoolyard dirt than selected from an NFL playbook. Tony Nathan, number 22, took a lateral from Duriel Harris to complete a 40-yard touchdown as the clock ran out. The touchdown was Miami's third consecutive score under Strock's direction, tightening the count at 24-17 and setting the stage for what would prove to be one of the most exciting playoff games in NFL history.
Most coaches are vehemently opposed to the practice of alternating quarterbacks. Yet, Joe, Don Shula does it all the time with Miami. Why does it work?
Well, let me clarify a point. Not only coaches are vehemently opposed to alternating quarterbacks, I can think of a few quarterbacks that don't like it either. In this instance, you've got a young man who's very mobile in David Woodley, and he gives that offense a dimension that Don Strock doesn't. Don Strock has the veteran aspect of the offense, and when Don Shula gets in trouble, he likes to go to Strock because he's probably the best reliever in football right now.
You know, Strock came in and did a magnificent job, but his performance probably was overshadowed by San Diego's Kellen Winslow. And as dramatically as that first half ended, in the second half of the San Diego-Miami game, there was much more drama to come.
After the dust had settled from the first half, no one believed that Miami and San Diego could endure another shootout like the one they encountered in the first 2 quarters. But like gunslingers, the Chargers and the Dolphins reloaded at halftime and came out exchanging touchdowns like rifle fire at the OK Corral. Dolphin quarterback Don Strock connected with tight end Joe Rose for the second time, and Miami tied the Chargers at 24-all. Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts quickly responded. Fouts riddled Miami's defense with short passes, and by luring in Dolphin defenders with this strategy, he found number 80, Kellen Winslow, open for an easy score. During the season, San Diego's explosive offense was usually enough to overwhelm their opponents. But Strock proved that Miami could match the Chargers blow for blow. Strock came off the bench to pass for 397 yards, and 50 of them came on this strike to number 84, Bruce Hardy. Miami again tied the game, and Fouts came right back with his aerial barrage. But this time the Chargers were to be grounded. Number 42, Lyle Blackwood's interception, combined with the return of teammate Gerald Small, marked the only time that one of Fouts' 54 passes were to be picked off. But Fouts' lone error occurred deep in his own territory, and the Dolphins made quick work of the Chargers' mistake. Number 22, Tony Nathan, crossed the goal line on the first play of the fourth quarter. And for the first time in the game, the Dolphins were in the lead, 38-31. San Diego's 24-point lead had been overcome, and with several Chargers succumbing to the sweltering heat, the critics' label of the Chargers as heartless chokers began to loom like the moon over Miami. But one man wanted no part of that stigma and rose above the Chargers' melancholy. All-Pro tight end Kellen Winslow. Despite suffering from heat exhaustion and a shoulder injury, Winslow resisted his pain and continued to play. The dedicated Winslow caught 13 passes for 166 yards. And his heroics proved to be the needed inspiration for the rest of the Chargers. Every eligible receiver became a part of the San Diego passing scheme as Fouts moved the Chargers on their final fourth quarter drive. With less than a minute remaining, Fouts lofted a pass to running back James Brooks, and the game was tied for a third time. Miami had an opportunity to win the game with seconds left in regulation, but the Chargers blocked the Dolphins' field goal attempt and sent the 38-38 deadlock into sudden death overtime. Miami had one more chance to win with a field goal, but for a second time, Uwe von Schaman's game winner was blocked. The Chargers have been maligned throughout 1981 because of their defense, but their special teams rate as one of the NFL's best. Given another life, the Chargers embarked on setting up a game-winning opportunity of their own. A 29-yard pass to Charlie Joyner drove the Chargers deep into Miami territory and in good field position for kicker Rolf Benerschke. Benerschke had missed the possible tiebreaker earlier in sudden death, but this time he was flawless and won the game 41-38. It was an offensive feast as the two teams scored 10 touchdowns and combined for more than 1,000 total yards. For the Dolphins, this orgy turned out to be a last supper as two blocked field goals left them with a sour taste of playoff elimination. The spoils of victory were bestowed upon the Chargers with the privilege of facing the Bengals this Sunday. It will be the second year in a row the Chargers will vie for the AFC Championship. But this year, no one can call Winslow and company a team playing without heart.
Well, this is what you would call a classic. I don't ever remember a more exciting game. I'm 61 years old. I'll be 61 years old this month. I've owned the team for 15 years. I followed professional football since I was a kid in the Polo Grounds in New York. And never have I seen a more exciting football game. You got to label it classic, and my grandkids will be talking about this. Incredible. And my congratulations to Miami. I really mean that. They're a great ball club. Come from 24 zip, had us up 38-31. We came back. I mean,
They pulled that play out of the sandbox.
Hey, right. I mean, how can you write a better script? If you wrote a movie like this, nobody comes see it. Incredible.
Dan, one quick question. Dan, can you make some kind of parallel between this game and the whole season?
No.
Well, I think that we've had our share of downs, and the thing about having your downs is that once you've had a couple, you know how to react to them. and you know how to overcome them. And I think that in this game tonight, we had our share again, but we knew what they were. We weren't surprised by them, and we overcame them. That's it. One question, you're through.
Thanks, Dan. Good luck.